Welcome back everybody to another Nuevo Pokemon League Wi-Fi battle. Today I'm going to be showcasing a match that we did for fun actually between Carlos and myself. Carlos is actually one of our Elite Four members. He's basically one of the top members of the Elite Four, and he's a pretty tough opponent. Now the battle was a really intense one and a really close one, so I'll let you guys just see for yourself more or less what happens. But as you can see, our teams are um, pretty unique in a sense. You can see that Carlos is going to be using like Scolipede, Vaporeon, which can honestly lead you to believe that he might be using a Baton Pass team. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. He has the Mega Pidgeot, obviously. And I'm going to be using my standard team. I switched out Dragonite with Salamence. So, without further ado, let's just hop right into it. Okay, so it's going to lead off with a Vaporeon. I'm going to lead off with Volcarona. The reason I switch here is because I just assumed that his Vaporeon is going to carry Toxic, and I didn't want to stay in against the Water type as well. Normally I would have stayed in and just started boosting, but I guess he got figured out by the same ideology that I was going to start boosting and go to the T-Tar when I go into Gengar. Now here I wasn't really knowing what to expect, so I just went ahead and went for the Energy Ball, just to see if I can get a little damage off. I guess in a sense I was expecting something like Stealth Rocks or a boosting move or something like that, and he goes straight in for the attack, which threw me off. So with that said, I return and I go for, my Umbreon. Of course not wanting to stay in against Umbreon, he's going to switch out, because he doesn't want to be poisoned or, whatever Umbreon carries as a standard. So he makes a good play and prediction when he switches out to the Fortress, which force switches me into something else. Now, not really knowing how Carlos's mind operates, or knowing too much how it operates, I just go straight for the flamethrower instead of going for the boost. But I'm glad that I did that now, because that allows me to get enough damage off the Pidgeot, for when it megas, it's not able to survive another one. And oddly enough, Mega Pidgeot is actually a big threat for my team this generation. So I was glad to get that out of the way. Anyway, with T-Tar out, I decided to switch into my Excadrill, hoping to basically one-shot it with Earthquake. So Carlos makes a switch, obviously knowing that that's what I'm going for. This is Vaporeon, which is bulky, extremely bulky. Using this opportunity, I decided to get the rocks off the field, so I just go for the Rapid Spin instead of trying to KO. And due to the Sandstorm, I'm actually able to survive that Scald attack. Gyarados out, I just decided to go for the Dragon Dance to try to get a little boost up. I don't know what I was really expecting from the Fortress. I kind of thought it would try to set up or try to stasis me. I didn't really expect it to go straight for the switch out. So there's a lot of boosting in this turn from everybody, and eventually he does go for the baton pass, which sets up a pretty big threat for me, and you'll see why in a second. He already has the Iron Defense set up, and my Gyarados obviously is physical. So now Vaporeon has become a threat for a few reasons. Obviously because it's physical and I can't really get through to it. And he goes for the Aqua Ring, which, like I said, this Vaporeon pretty much is what threw off my entire game, because I expected it to be a standard toxic wielding set, and in fact it's using Acid Armor, Baton Pass, Scald, and what's the last move? Aqua Ring. So that like totally throws me off, and I think that's pretty much what put Carlos in such a good position during our battle. That being said, Gyarados pretty much comes to the burn, and I decided to go straight into my Volcarona, which is special, especially defense, I believe. Or defensive, yeah, it's supposed to boost into especially defensive. So T-Tor out, I go for the Quiver Dance. Not sure how good of an idea this was to actually remain out, because Rock Slide is going to be able to OKO, obviously, because it's a rock attack. But I go straight into the Bug Buzz, hoping that it does enough damage, not realizing that he's specially defensive, and I'm not able to do really anything at all. So right now Carlos actually has me back into a pretty defensive corner. I decided to go out to my Crom. However, I forget that he does have the speed boost, which pretty much threw me completely off that he outsped me. And then I remembered, wait a minute, stole the speed boost, obviously. So at this point I'm like, well, screw it, I'm going to go out to my favorite Pokemon, Umbreon, and hopefully I can do quite a bit of work. And I pretty much bank off of Umbreon for the remainder of this match, and you'll see what happens. It's a pretty crazy thing, to be honest. So I go for the Toxic, trying to wear it down, because obviously he's not going to switch out. He has too many boosts on this thing right now. He's just going to try to go for the all kill shots. So knowing this, I'm just going to stay in and basically try to prepare myself for the rest of his team, because I don't really have any options right now. So he goes for the unplanned switch and goes to the Needle King. This actually worried me, but I remember that most Needle Kings run Sheer Force, so I didn't think that he's going to get a stasis off on me. And on top of that, what also worried me is that this Needle King is special attack, so I really didn't want to stay in against it. So I go for the Salamence. Intimidate not really going to help in this situation, but I assumed I'd be able to knock this thing out with Salamence. So he goes for the switch, obviously. I'm going to Mega Evolve here. And I'm going to try to kill this thing. Now, if you all know anything about Mega Salamence, he's pretty much one of the most OP things in the game. So I decided to go for the Dragon Dance, just assuming that he would try really hard to boost and try to get another Ahmad out against this thing, but he actually goes straight for the attack, which was unexpected. And because I got greedy, I end up pretty much screwing up my Salamence sleep. So I go straight out to Umbreon again because I've been like, you know what, screw this. Scolipede goes for the Iron Defense. Obviously I know Scolipede has a pretty decent attack stat, so I'm just going to go for the Foul Play and knock this thing out. Just going to go out to Needle King again, and like I said, I was worried about a special attack, and we'll see what it does to Umbreon. So uninvested, that's a pretty good chunk of damage. So I'm pretty fearful right now. I just want to get this thing off the field as soon as possible and keep myself healed so I don't get revenge killed by something faster. Not sure why he goes for the Ice Beam here, unless he's not Sheer Force, then I could understand why. But I would have still went for the Sludge Bomb just because it gets stab damage and possibly could actually knock Umbreon out. Because I only survived there at 18 HP, so if he would have went for Sludge Bomb last turn, he probably would have already knocked me out. So this, I'm just going to keep healing because I don't want to die. My only option right now, so. So he's going to go out to Vaporeon. I'm just going to try to kill this thing. Vaporeon doesn't have a lot of attack, obviously, as we can tell. And this was something I was really worried about, but I know that the thing no longer carries Toxic, so I know that I can stay in against it and just Toxic away. And just try to get this thing to die to poison. So this next little part is a little boring to watch, but it's more or less just Toxic stall. And as you all may know, I don't carry Substitute on Umbreon anymore, so that leaves me susceptible to Stasis. So I was really concerned about that. So instead I'm just going to start Curse boosting. He's going to go for the Aqua Ring, which leads me to believe that he's going to attempt another Baton Pass, especially with going for the Iron Defense. But what really concerns me is if he can get a burn off with Scald, because that will pretty much end Umbreon's quote-unquote sweeping capabilities. So that's what I was most concerned about here. But at the same time, there's really nothing I can do because I don't have a substitute. So pretty much just waiting for it to die to the poison. And this tends to happen whenever evolutions go against each other. They're just insanely powerful when it comes to stalling. So he goes for the baton pass. Not totally unexpected. He goes into the Needle King, which now has a defensive buff. But I'm going to go straight for the foul play. Kind of predicting this switch. And it does enough damage where pretty much I can knock him out next turn. But he obviously is going to get a lot of damage off of me using his Sludge Bomb. But yeah, as you guys can see, Umbreon is turning this match around for me. I only have one other Pokemon in reserve, and it has about 12 HP, so I'm trying my best to not lose this match. And he holds on just barely. Due to this, I'm actually able to recover using Moonlight because he has like probably 1 HP right now, which also screws me over because I get burned this turn. It doesn't really matter at this point if he goes down or not, because all he really needed was the burn to pretty much end Umbreon from sweeping the remainder of his team. Just with one crippling stasis, Umbreon can lose a lot of its potential, unfortunately. So now he's going to go out to his T-Toll once more, which is poison, and sets up the Sandstream, which is going to affect my ability to heal. Luckily for me, I avoid the Rock Slide, which possibly could have ended with some kind of flinch hacks, which is what's been going on for the vast majority of Rock Slides this match. So I was trying to figure out if he had like King's Rock or whatever. But I think he is actually Assault, that's it. So the flinch hacks again. If he flinches me again, he pretty much wins. Go for the next Rock Slide. And he does get the flinch again. And Sandstorm damage. And I'm going to get burned, of course. So at this point, Umbreon is not looking too happy. And he outspeeds me. He finally dies to the poison this turn, but it was perfect timing, basically, for him. Because now I only have 10 HP. And there's really not much I can do because I have Curse set up. So I'm a lot slower than his Fortress, and I actually forget this. And that causes me to pretty much lose this match, and you'll see how with the next turn. So I go straight into my last Pokemon, which is Gengar. And I just go for the Shadow Ball because I know I'm pretty much done. Either the Sandstorm will kill me or Fortress will. So with the Gyro Ball, Fortress ends his battle in a 0-1 result. So anyway, that was my waifu battle against Carlos. It was, like I said, a really close match. His only Pokemon remaining was Fortress at the end, and that's usually the first thing to go in a match. So that was a very interesting match. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you around for the next waifu battle.